Hi everyone, welcome to Type Talks. I'll let everyone introduce themselves, starting with Ryan and Mara.
Hi, I'm Ryan. Me and Mara are both writers at PracticalTyping, which is the website that we run. I am an ISTJ, and
I'm Mara, and I'm an ISTP, and he covered everything I was going to say.
Yeah, and so PracticalTyping is an amazing website, as you guys already know, as I've hammered it home a jillion times. So go check out PracticalTyping. You have free time, go do it down in the links below. And so Spacey, would you like to tell us a bit about you?
Yep, I'm Spacey. I'm an INTP. I am a scholar of typology. I've made videos about cognitive functions in the past, and I type people.
Yeah, and Spacey has a YouTube channel that you can check out. And Jet and Oriana?
Oh, I can't go. Ladies first, come on.
Oh my god. Okay. Hi, I'm Oriana or Ori. I'm an ENFP, 2-wing-1, SXSO, and I work with kids.
So apparently, after some self-reflection, I think I'm SPSX now. I think I'm an 8, but I'm still ESTP. But I don't know, so we'll see.
Cool story. Jet has a YouTube channel too. And Paul, you're actually muted.
is anybody here fluent in lip reading?
Translate.
Yeah, Paul says he's an INFP. That's pretty much it.
He said, please skip me until I sort this out.
Oh, it's okay.
Like, I'm just here for ambiance.
He's going to keep the Halloween-y vibes alive, and he's doing a good job.
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess Paul's having a little bit of audio issues, but his costume is rad. And so Heidi and Sarah, would you guys like to tell us a bit about you?
Sure. I'm Heidi. I'm an ENFP. I do a lot of work in the typology space. So I run personal development boot camps for INFPs and ENFPs, and I'm expanding right now to do a lot of video content around a lot of types. I just started a YouTube channel, which you guys can check out if you are so inclined. And all of the beauty of the YouTube channel and the editing work can be attributed to Sarah. So I'll pass it off to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. This is exciting for me. It seems like a fun SD activity. And yeah, I'm Sarah. I'm an ISFP, and I run a production company.
Awesome. Yeah, and so Heidi is the author of this ENFP survival guide, and she runs boot camps, so check out her website. I was a part of her ENFP boot camp, but I'm not an ENFP. I just really like typology. So if you really like typology, consider joining one of Heidi's boot camps. She will hit you into shape. I mean, get you into shape in the least violent way possible by enriching your soul. So yeah, I think Paul's audio is working. Do you have wait, you can't have headphones because you have a costume. Because I hear myself.
Fighting crime is hard, people.
And
first of all, what even are you? Why do you have ears?
He's the Batman.
I've had a really long day.
Yes, so Paul, could you tell us more about you?
Certainly, yes. Thank you, everyone, for being so patient. I'm Paul. I'm an INFP. 9-wing-1. 9-wing-1 SX. I'm in Heidi's boot camp right now, and which is delightful. Aside from the push-ups in the mud and being called a scum-sucking maggot, but aside from that, I can testify as a person with a half-ass costume that the boot camp is just a fantastic experience. I highly recommend it.
Paul, that is a whole ass costume. Don't sell yourself short.
I have been using my whole ass. That's true. Yep.
Oh man, the comedy is alive here.
I was thinking about boot camp because I'm also a graduate of boot camp. I'm Aisha. I'm an ENFP. I'm a big Joyce fan. I could talk about her for 20 years. I work at a big old bank. I know it's not something that ENFPs typically do, but I think it's really important that we're represented in corporate. And I'm going to change that shit. And Joyce told me that we were doing Halloween. So it's my David Rose. Does anyone watch Schitt's Creek?
I watched some of it. It's pretty funny.
I love
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek.
Funny. I love David. I love Alexa. It's so damn funny.
That's amazing, Aisha. And so yes, Aisha is this like golden star of a human being, and she's always filled with love that she gives plentiful to people. And so I'm lucky to have you, and thank you for dressing up on this Halloween special. And so Denzel and Jamila, would you like to tell us a bit about you?
I'm Jamila. I'm ISFP 5, and that's it.
Okay. I'm Denzel. I'm ENFJ 9 Wing 1, and that's it.
Oh man, that's amazing. And so Denzel has a YouTube channel where he talks about type and Christianity. And so if you want to check out awesome content related to those topics, then go check out Denzel. He's under Denzel Mensah. And his wife, Jamila, has the voice of a living angel. So if you want your ears to be blessed from above, go check out Jamila's singing. Yeah. And so, hi, my name's Joyce, and I'm a certified MBTI practitioner, and I facilitate the instrument and organizations. And for this Halloween special, I am a Pokemon trainer, and here is my Victorian. So Aisha doesn't feel that alone in her dressing up as a guy for Halloween.
I'm so proud of you, Joyce.
Yeah, all for you.
Pulling that costume together, I feel it.
Yes, and so today we'll be reacting to Inkblots and see how different types look at different things. I mean, how they process things. And so let's get to it. All right, everyone, what do you see?
It's boobs.
Wow. I see a man.
That's an Inkblot.
I see a man who's like holding something. Well, he's kind of like he's having his arms like this, and some sort of entity. It almost looks like the Avatar, and he's like that air ball right in between.
I think only because I've been studying personal training, I just see like, oh, I see spinal vertebrae. Like I see this is kind of like part of it, and then it just kind of turns into, I guess, like wings and like a weird masked face. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Any other insights y'all have?
I definitely saw a lady, but yeah, because I saw boobs right away. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh.
I see like a meditative kind of Buddha figure, Zen thing, and you can see like another person meditating within the person's mind.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
I see like a little raccoon wearing a crown. Because like if you look at the like two things coming out in the circles, like here, this is like its eyes and it's smiling, and it's wearing like a little crown.
Oh, that's so cute.
That is adorable.
Nice.
I want to be in your mind, Sarah. That was adorable.
Like a little Badger King.
Yeah.
Cool. And so I'll move on to the next Inkblot.
I have a question about the Inkblot.
Sure.
Is it computer generated because it looks far too symmetrical to be a literal Inkblot?
Asking the real questions here. It's a conspiracy, we'll never know. It's like it's like Schrodinger's cat. You never know if it's computer generated or not because you'll never get to check. So, all right. Next image. What are you guys' thoughts?
A dog wearing a mask.
I see a butterfly, but I also see like two women kind of facing each other. And like they have like boobs and just like pom poms. Yeah, maybe like two fairies.
I see two people like sitting back to back.
I was gonna say kind of similar to Jamila. I see like two like Maleficent type characters looking at each other face to face, and their horns are coming from the back, like that.
It also just kind of looks like a butterfly.
Yeah. To me, it can look like a map, and somebody entering in the front gates of whatever that might be at the front over there. They're just like standing in front of it.
I feel like
Nose.
angry upside down fish that's like spitting something out of its mouth and it has eyes.
An angry upside down what?
Fish, like a weird like sea creature. Like you look at it upside down and the two little dots like came to me as like they looked at like eyes to me. And then the like part in between looked like a mouth, like with two teeth, and it's like spitting something out.
Yep, that's what I see.
Well, it's kind of close. To me, it looks like a fat, like, goblin king. And, like, you can see his eyes on either side. And then the dot in the middle is his nose. And he's, like, missing a bunch of teeth. And he's got, like, a crown on.
Now I made it happy. It kind of looks like two people, like, jumping at each other, like, hey!
Yeah, I think as a whole, I see like a crab kind of with like its legs and stuff. But then there's like lots of little, like if you like kind of zoom in, there's lots of faces and interactions that I think are like, I don't know, I see like lots of people kind of coming out of like these shadows. But as like a whole, I'm seeing like one, yeah. And I kind of felt like that about the other piece as well. It's like, there's lots of little details that could be different things.
How about you, Paul?
Yeah, I was going to go with like two, I think the term is maidenheads, on two rival ships crashing together at the top. And it's certainly, you know, like around where, you know, the top portion looks very female. And then, yeah, just everything, yeah, it's like, you know, like kind of a pirate battle. Explosions everywhere. Very intense.
Story.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's riveting, Paul.
What happens next?
Oh, that's it. There are no winners in war.
Yeah, it's like that Game of Thrones battle where they had that green shit everywhere.
Yes. Battle of the Blackwater.
Yeah.
I love how your SI just remembers the exact name of the episode.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a precise detail that is stored away forever.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other thoughts before we switch? Cool.
A deer. Or like a giraffe.
Venus flytrap.
Yeah, that's what I see. Venus flytrap in the middle. Looks like the teeth.
Yeah.
I see like uterus. Like the whole just reproduct.
I see.
Yeah, that looks very much like a uterus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I see like the skeleton type of character with really long legs and it's hunched over and it has wings.
I see a castle. So like that whole part that's going horizontal is the castle, and then in the middle is like a bridge, and then that small white part is like the opening.
Did she say castle? I thought she said asshole.
No, not quite. No.
It's beautiful. I'm sorry. Aisha's hyper.
I saw the exact same thing as Denzel saw, so you already laid out my vision.
How about you, Paul?
Yeah, no, I chimed in, agreed with the Venus flytrap assessment, but
yeah.
I can totally see the uterus, but you know, there's definitely some health issues going on. I think. Yeah, it could be. It doesn't have to be a human uterus. It could be like
this
a
is a
succubus
demogorgon uterus.
Yeah. Yeah. Has anyone seen Teeth? It kind of looks like that.
Oh, now I'm thinking about Audrey too.
Oh gosh.
You see.
How about you, Sarah?
Yeah, I feel like I keep seeing animals. I don't know why, but to me it kind of looks like Like on the sides there, it's like the eyes of a bird, in the middle is the beak, and it's kind of like a cropped image. So if you were to like zoom out, you'd probably see the whole thing. But
It looks like an eagle just like giving you a cross-eyed death stare like this.
yeah.
Very specific animal reference. And so Mara?
I'm seeing a deer now that someone said a deer. Before that, not really much of anything.
Yeah, cool. So nice thoughts, guys. I'm gonna move on to the next link block.
Oh,
Dang, okay.
I
Nice.
really see Venom. That's Venom.
Yeah, Venom.
Yeah. Well, actually, I see Carnage. So,
Okay, that was my
you know,
second
who's related to Venom.
thought. Right.
So specific.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
feel like a baby demon. Like, it's scary looking, but it's really happy and cute. Like, it doesn't know it's supposed to be scary. It's very interesting.
Dude, that looks exactly like fucking Venom.
Yeah. Or Carnage.
Yeah.
Either one.
That's not an Inkblot. That's a picture of Venom with like some extra shit added.
The sides kind of look like dancing bears, like, or dolphins. I don't know. We're gonna throw something else at it.
I love your animals. You and your animals.
I know. That's all I see.
It's like a cave entrance with like the stalactites and the stalagmites, right? Like, look at that shit. That's fucking cool.
I see that.
That's dope.
That's what I've looked.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like every time I open the hood of a car. Just like
That's an Inkblot. That's what that is.
that's a wolf.
That's a wolf for sure.
Yeah, I see its eyes and everything.
Oh, it is a wolf. Yeah.
I see the wolf.
Oh.
Yeah.
It looks like a frog to me.
Yeah. But I also see like two, like, what are those things? Like angels sitting on the bottoms over there playing like a harp.
Ooh, I didn't see that before. That's nice.
And they're like both turning to the side. So you see them from like side view.
You see they have it?
Yeah.
I see them flying.
Interesting.
It kind of looks like mountains on the top and like a figure walking down a path, and at the bottom it's like trees that are like pointed outwards for some sort of artistic reason. But
Oh, wow.
Somehow I see like a big
Yeah.
alchemical experiment with like 4 different things pouring shit into the middle. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is fun.
Is that how
Ah.
you were made, Spacey? An alchemical experiment?
Honestly, I seriously think I'm a government experiment that just like got tossed aside at some point.
Nice, nice. And so anyone else before we move on? Cool. So this one is a 3-parter.
The first one looks like the little guy with the axe from Lord of the Rings.
The third one
What's his name?
The third one looks like a samurai jacket, and the second one looks like lungs.
Yeah. Lungs
Yeah.
jumped out at me. And then the first one, I almost see like a weird like angel figure in the white part in the middle rising out of something.
Same.
Mm.
It's almost like it's like standing in like a black puddle of whatever you want that black puddle to be.
Yeah.
The one in the middle looks like lungs with like the rib cage around it.
The one in the middle looks like 2 who's that are tongue kissing. They're like.
You took the ink block and made it so much more graphic.
Wow.
Well, all right.
It's beautiful.
I guess the one on the right looks like a spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I
gonna
kind
say
of see a
spider.
bug over there.
Yeah, some form of
Yeah. Yeah, but like,
It kind of looks like the bad guy from Monsters Inc. Like the boss that was gray.
Oh, I hate that
oh,
guy's leg.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Heck yes.
Good call.
Okay, you said it looked like what kissing? In the middle?
Who? Like from Dr. Seuss.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, any other comments before we move on?
Pikachu.
All right.
Mm.
You're right, Denzel. It does look like Pikachu.
Yeah.
I see people just looking at each other.
Yeah, I just feel like an animal that isn't reminiscent of any real animal. It's just kind of like, almost like an animal archetype. Like it's just kind of got an animalistic face, but it's fairly bland and indiscriminate in its features.
That looks like a gas mask with animal ears on the top of it.
Mm.
I just
Oh.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
whoa.
I'm getting serious black masks and gasoline vibes here.
Wait, Sarah?
Very true.
I think someone else said it as well, though. That it's like
Yeah.
two people looking at each other.
Now I can't not see that.
Interesting.
Oh yeah,
I love-
that's a good one too. Yeah.
I can see like an owl coming in for a landing. Or actually, no, just about to pounce on prey. But from the prey's point of view.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, like right down below, it's like the talons are like, front and center. And then further back, yeah, like this, so the wings extend
That's
into the
cool.
background. And
That
yeah,
is
just
so
these
cool.
these two little white spots, yeah, are just the eyes. The last thing you see.
That's morbid, Paul. and so what I see is the same thing that Denzel sees. I see like a Pokemon or a Digimon. It's like when you used to watch Pokemon and there's the shadow. It's like, who's that Pokemon? And then like you, oh, it's Pikachu. It looks like. And so Mara, what are your thoughts?
I don't know.
It's an inkblot.
Cool. And so I'm gonna move on. Yeah. What are
Oh
your
my.
thoughts?
Ooh.
That's a bird fountain. Big one.
So I was babysitting my 5-year-old niece earlier, and we were making Halloween potions. So I just see two witches making a potion, but that might just be recalling a recent.
Oh, I see.
Nice. I totally see that.
Yeah, I just see like two little birds facing each other.
Yeah, I see two people looking at each other with helmets, and then on top of their helmets is like either a feather or a bird-like creature sitting on top of it.
Oh, I see that.
The people actually look like monkeys to me. Like they have like a muzzle or some sort. So like monkeys with a helmet in a way, because they have like some sort of like extended mouth area, and their mouths are open as they're looking at each other, and then there's a bird sitting on top of their helmet.
It looks like a bunny.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna see animals this whole time, but it looks like a bunny.
So cute. And here's another image.
Ooh,
Oh.
It's a shame.
Okay.
Yeah, I see a strip for sure.
I see a chandelier.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I see marionette.
Like a people chandelier though. Like, oh, if you went to like live action Beauty and the Beast and they were doing like VR guests, but then they were trapezing that shit.
Or
Yeah.
even that thing that like babies have in the crib, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
Mobile.
yeah.
Yeah. This is turning into like how to mentally scar Joyce with your interpretations.
It's going here.
What's wrong, Joy?
Now I can't unsee the people chandelier. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I see the aftermath from Vlad the Impaler's army.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good call though.
Just,
feel like
yeah, just impaled people everywhere.
That middle part just looks like a light post that's like the center of town.
I see
Happy Halloween!
a puppeteer. You can see the things at the top, and then the marionettes are at the bottom.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was the first thing I saw as well. Marionettes.
Mhm.
Oh, people chandelier. Really like took over that image very quickly.
I feel like it's a woman's torso. It looks like some chi-chis and then like some arms in a pocket. I don't know. Like in her big poofy skirt.
To me, that looks like
Ah.
these people like working at a desk on either side. Like it looks like here's like the person and there's
I found the boobs now. She's
Yeah.
right. It's boobs.
Yeah.
That little like corset. Like,
Yeah, she's like shaking them up front.
yeah.
I see it. Wow. Wow.
I have a question. For those of you who, well, any of you really, but especially the higher end users, are y'all continuing to look for things?
No, I'm calling out the first thing I see.
No, yeah.
I'm looking for what other people are pointing out.
I am. I'm like turning my head. I'm looking underneath.
No, I'm just. It's supposed to be the first thing you see, I guess, that jumps into your head. That's the point of this exercise, I think.
Yeah, I think actually that's why I try to shout out mine.
No one told me there were rules.
Myself.
All of a sudden.
There aren't. Joyce did not state any rules. You're fine.
Yeah, it's the first thing that you see. So.
Yeah, no,
It's hard for NE to be like, oh, well, they found that one. What's another one I can find? You know, like the moment I think of the one I'm going to say, I immediately start looking for other stuff. I just call out the first thing I'm seeing.
Yeah, same with me, more or less.
Yeah. But I think that's normal. NE likes to look.
Yeah, I see what I see, and then I don't really look for anything else. Or like, I'll try to see what y'all see. I pretty much can't do it, but I'll try to see what y'all see. But I'm not looking like, oh, what else can I find? Because I already see what I see, and I can't not see. I can't really see anything.
I relate to that, but for me, I can see everything that everybody else sees. But I just try to see what I see first.
Yeah.
Are we going?
So Jamila, I have a question.
Thoughts here?
They're going off of your first thought.
Because then it'd be fucking like bodies hanging off chains and shit.
People chandelier.
Hell yeah.
I haven't
The bodies are not hitting the floor today.
Was that you, Paul, that said you had a question?
Sorry?
Was that you?
No, it was me, Ryan.
Oh.
So you know those pictures? You know those pictures that you're supposed to be able to see two separate things in? You know, if you look at it one way, it's like the one that seems to be the most classic is the old lady and the young lady. Can you only see one of the two, or can you shift your perspective on something like that?
I can see multiple things, but I am not actively searching for something else that I don't already see. Unless you're like, oh, I see a panda. I'm going to be like, oh, can I see the panda? But I'm not going to be like, oh, I see a butterfly, so let me see if I can see a panda. If nobody mentioned anything about a panda, why am I looking? Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
No, I'm like, yeah, it does make sense because I'm completely still looking at it, like trying to see what else I can see. Is there something else in here? Is there a panda hidden?
Yeah, and I think like that. I'm like, I bet there's some other things in here, but I'm not going to find it today.
Guys, we have to hop off, unfortunately, but good luck with the rest of the Inkblots.
It was
fun.
Yep.
It was great to have you guys on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing you, Heidi.
Yeah, nice to meet y'all.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
Oh, you guys are going too, yeah. Bye.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Cool. Back to the psychoanalysis of your soul, guys.
Oh, I see.
That's cool.
People.
Yeah, that's two people holding up two more people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that to me too.
Yeah. Okay.
This looks like what my SE aspires to be.
Yeah.
It's also a skull. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Like a cat skull.
Oh, okay, I see now.
Yeah.
All of these do look like uterus, though.
Yeah, they really do.
Well, it's also a uterus. Or a vagina.
I feel like everything looks like that and a butterfly.
Yeah. I think because all of them are supposed to be symmetrical, so in some way that symmetry happens to create that form of shape.
Art imitates life.
Yes.
Well, it could be like a top-down view of like some kind of fighter ship.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Kind of like it's kind of like those old games with like they had like Pac-Man and all of that, and you're just shooting.
Oh, it totally looks like one of those things from Space Invaders.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Totally.
It really does.
Good call.
All right, on to the next one. Unless you guys have more Space Invader comments.
Oh, I see an airplane.
I'm just wondering about like the aerodynamics. If it was a spacecraft, like how would it fly with the
Oh, it doesn't matter, dude. It's aliens.
Oh.
I think it would fly because the wings are not necessarily like wings, but it has like propellers underneath.
Oh, dude, you're right. It'd be like rotary blades right there where the eyes would be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, it'll have some fucking laser anti-grav propulsion thing that you can't even comprehend.
Don't even try, man.
Yeah, man. No way.
It floats on dreams.
Yeah. It's aliens.
Cool. And so this is more Inkblots.
The first one is definitely an angel, but it looks like a wicked angel. In fact, it looks like Vespiquen.
Now that one looks like a Pokemon to me, a specific Pokemon.
Yeah.
Joyce, what's its name? The purple guy that's like,
Gengar.
It's like that one with like purple eyes.
You.
Which one looks like Gengar?
Well, I guess it looks more like Haunter, but I see what you're saying.
It looks like Haunter. I see Haunter.
Yeah.
But I also see Vespiquen for A, Queen Bee Pokemon, but I also see Haunter for A.
I see a butterfly.
The third one is giving me Catholic vagina vibes. It's like very Roman up top, but then the bottom is definitely.
Did you say Catholic?
No, it's like the vag of Mary herself, right?
Yes, it's like the Vatican.
You got one.
I can't.
Oh no!
Did you just come up with that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Joyce.
that was a clever neologism indeed.
You said that you were seeing something, Joyce.
Yeah, like the takeaway I'm getting from these ink blocks is that like they kind of are like they remind you of like sexual organs, like a lot of them, and I'm like, is that on purpose? Are they like trying to like look for your sexual trauma when they present?
We're all just filthy.
Because I don't know how many people here watch The Blacklist, but Raymond Reddington, he's like the main character on there. When they were showing him Inkblots, then he said, "Oh, you're not gonna have any luck with these. All I see is genitalia." And I forgot about that until we started doing this. I was like, "Oh wow, I think that's right. Like all we usually see is genitalia, that or animals." I don't know what that might mean, but
yeah, it's like there are three types of ink blots. There's the genitalia, there's the animals, and then there's the really morbid, really messed up ink blots that look like dead people or like things dying or something very graphic. But yeah, any other thoughts on this one?
Third one looks like a cool ass nurse upside down.
Yeah.
It looks like two bears holding onto a lamppost, dancing, like singing in the rain.
Very interesting.
Oh.
I think the middle one could also pass as Pokemon, like Butterfree, all of that beautiful stuff. Beautifly.
Beautifly. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You are a Pokemon trainer, Joyce. I'm proud of you.
True Pokemon trainer. Just to show my Vaporeon for creds. I mean, that's my credentials. So
Look at it winking. That's cute as shit.
Respect.
I need an Espeon.
Cool. On to the next one.
Oh.
Ooh.
That looks like
Okay.
Well, if that's genitalia, that guy needs to see a doctor.
It looks like a dissected frog.
Yeah, somehow I'm seeing frogs.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like
over a mirror showing me their bottoms.
this looks like if I was in Greece or something and I was looking at like old statues, but it was on the water, so it's also reflecting.
Yeah. That pretty. That's a lot nicer than frogs.
I see the frog, like half, but then some of its vertebrae or some of the muscles are still connected in between. Its feet might also still twitch.
Oh, I see. Like a frog that's sitting on glass, so you're looking at it from the bottom.
Or
Yeah.
Mm.
Or even like on a tray, like to be dissected.
I see a larger creature on the right docking with a smaller creature and sucking the life out of it or something.
Oh my shit.
Do you want to continue that story, Spacey?
No, it's far too dark and filthy.
I like this one.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That lady in the front's like holding her baby up. She's like, take the baby.
That is if we all just see that and we all just agreed that we saw that.
Yeah.
You said there's a woman holding a baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
like
see
in
it.
the front, yeah.
Top left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like lifting something up.
Oh, like Simba?
Mm.
Yeah.
Like Simba.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. And then that like creepy thing is like trying to get her. It's like, oh, give me your baby.
Yeah, damn. It's like the chosen one must die.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
It's getting away. It's gonna be fine.
Okay, good.
These stories get so dark. There's never like a happy ending to these Inkblot stories.
No, Aisha just she said it's gonna be
like
fine.
Hercules or them. Like Hercules or Superman.
Okay, no. Let's brighten this up a little bit. On the right, it's actually a kindly man giving like a stuffed animal to the woman holding the baby.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, see? It's a teddy bear.
Oh, look at that. You
Yeah.
can see it around.
That's sweet. I see an adult and a child holding hands, and the child's like pointing off. Maybe she's pointing at the lady holding up the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
she's
like,
like,
that
look.
lady's gonna throw her baby off the cliff.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like wagging his finger at her too. Like, you can see his other hand there. He's like, no, it's rude to point.
That is actually so funny. All right. So next in block.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, but it makes me feel like music.
No, I was thinking witchcraft.
Wow.
I mean, to me, it's like a really devilish alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
It's like some witch's brew that'll get you really fucked up.
Yeah.
This looks like a bumper sticker that you would see on some guy's car that has a no fear tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a pot with a substance in it and two people mixing it, or two spoons, maybe not even people, like ladles, just like inside.
So those.
But then there's also like a broken heart in between, like a broken heart is cracked.
So those squiggles, like we all see it as smoke.
Yeah.
Because I see it as waves. I think I see two aliens DJing at a club. That's what I see.
Okay.
You don't. I see like one little creature, and those little white things in the front are like his hands, like he's like holding them up, like.
See, that's just the record that he's spinning. That the aliens are spinning. That's
Oh man, see, I really like hers this time. It's been too long since I could go to a rave.
I know. That's what they're doing at Area 51, I think.
So Paul, what do you see?
Yeah, I actually see like a jellyfish, and it's like playing with action figures down below, like holding them up
Cool.
with its tentacles. Yeah, it's like, he's just having a good time. He's like found. Oh no, he's found like two shells, like kind of conch shells, and he's like having them have
It
a
looks like he's holding
conversation.
up a white dress. Like, do you like this dress?
Just say yes.
guy, this dress.
Don't you just love it? Yeah.
I see a UFO.
How about you guys, Oriana and Jet?
I see like a cartoon-looking masked lady where the white part on the black is her masked eyes. And she has like really dark lipstick. And she's like going like this because she's some sort of villain.
Cool. Could you do the action, Oriana, again?
Oh, she's going like this. Like she's like putting her fingers by her lip because she's a little villain.
That's amazing. Next Inkblot. Not gonna lie, like this kind of looks like a brain scan, like the very brain scan. I'm not sure if this is an actual Inkblot.
Well, the second one definitely looks like some type of demon. Third one too.
I mean, I feel like everything does.
I like the fourth one. The fourth bottom right one like illustrates despair and anguish the best.
I think it kind of looks like a flower. Like a carnation. Just like a carnation of death, maybe.
Or a dog. Yeah, that too.
Where are you seeing the dog?
Well, the top left one is definitely a gas mask, but I mean the one underneath it is just the colors inverted, pretty much.
Do you see the little man though at the bottom left one at the white part? There's like a little mustache and it looks like he has little fangs and his big bushy eyebrows.
Oh
Yeah. I see, or it like looks like they're facing each other.
Yeah.
Like it's like his reflection.
Yeah, like two men wearing hats facing each other, nose to nose.
Yeah, interesting.
The one on the bottom right looks like two little creepy like birds with weird big baby legs standing on something. I don't like that one. I keep looking at it like, oh,
I can see that.
your baby legs.
No, the one on the top left looks like a wizard standing atop a grand castle or fortress with his arms raised. I don't know.
Yeah, these Inkblots, they're becoming nightmare fuel very quickly with your I don't know, all these interpretations.
Do y'all remember Mulan when Mushu, he had like ruined that statue and he put the statue on his head? That's what the top right one looks like.
Good call. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Oh,
I knew it
okay.
reminded me of something.
Yeah.
The bottom left kind of looks like a lady with her head thrown back. Like the top is like her neck, and she's just like done with her day.
Yeah. Really cool insights, y'all. And I don't know, this is probably not an Inkblot. I don't know what it is though.
It looks like a helicopter from the top. Or a mosquito. Both look similar though, so could be either.
I mean, it looks like someone being crucified. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, when Joyce said it might not be an Inkblot, that's what I saw too. I saw a cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the leg. You can see their legs hanging, but not the bottom of the cross. But like,
Oh, I see.
Poetic.
There's a hook going into their ass.
Yeah, this.
Yeah.
I feel like
how do they get him up there with no arms?
they just hook him into the back.
Yeah, they don't do them like they don't do them like they used to.
I feel
it now.
Being buried underground, but they're like a root person. They're not like an actual person, like a mandrake almost.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I can see that. Yeah.
It looks like a mandrake for sure, being crucified. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Time to move to the next one. How about this, y'all?
It looks like a group of people surrounding a fire, and then there's a whole bunch of shadows around the group of people, and there's something that's being summoned from the fire.
That's creative.
Oh, this is totally like a genie coming out of a lamp or something.
I see like hands that are holding an ice sculpture.
See like an alien head, and at the bottom it has like cheekbones and its eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's all like brain.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I see that.
Well, I totally see cultists now, though. Like the other guy was kind of alluding to.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's like Grim Reaper coming out of like.
Yeah. They're summoning something.
That's fucking tight.
Yeah. I see two women crouching back to back, and they're like kind of like sweeping back their hair.
That's beautiful. I see them now.
Yeah.
Wow. How about this, y'all?
Ooh.
That's the same pirate guy in the beginning.
Yeah, that's the same. Like I thought he was a samurai, but yeah, it looks like the same samurai.
Yeah, the second one even looks like a samurai, and yeah.
Do you guys think that like Inkblots just look the same after a while?
Yeah.
Not really. No.
I think the only big ones is.
Hell yeah, dude. Like the second one is my favorite. It feels like it's like disappearing from reality almost.
Yeah, it reminded me of Endgame when they all started to disappear. That's what
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
No.
The second one reminds me of that. There's an image of like a 1940s man who like has a mustache and he's like has his arms up like he's gonna fight. If there were like two of them facing each other.
That's awesome, Aisha. How would you illustrate the fighting pose if you could illustrate it?
I can't from the side because my did you see this? I don't know what function I'm failing at right here. Trying to do a side pose.
Beautiful.
That
The
last
second
one
image-
reminds me of Ursula from The Little Mermaid for some reason, and I love that bee.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
How about this one?
It's really dark.
That's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a silhouette of a face with lighting capturing it just with the mouth and the nose, bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're
That's a
like
little
they're coming out of the
purple.
shadows.
Sure, that's Tater.
The top middle kind of looks like an eagle or whatever.
Sure. It is. It's you, Tate.
I don't know. It just reminds me of some kind of tribal mask, or maybe like one of those stone heads on Easter Island or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a face coming out of the shadows, but now I see a jester.
When the jesters sang for the king and queen.
Yeah, his little. I'm not sure what the term is for the jingly bell part of the hat, but yeah, he's got several of those.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay, here's the next one.
Ooh.
Oh, it looks like a demon who's like flexing on you.
Oh. From the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. But to me, it also looks like a mask with like the eyes there.
Well, they all look like masks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It looks like a Robin's mask. Yeah.
Robin from Teen Titans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Next one. How about this?
Ooh, so I immediately saw at the front, I see a woman with long flowing hair, and she's facing a creature that has very wide eyes and wings that are spread forth, and is kind of like, I guess, like listening to her.
Interesting.
That top part kind of looks like a raccoon.
Looks like a raccoon to me as well.
I don't know. It's a bunch of people seated at like a table, and there's this thing at the bottom that they're eating from.
Oh, I could see that.
Hmm.
Very much so. Anyone else?
Sorry, we're eating.
I don't really like this one just because I like the cool demonish looking, wicked looking ones. Those are fucking tight.
Hmm.
This one's too cute, right? The raccoon head's too cute. All right.
Yeah.
Next one. For this one, I see like a 6-fingered hand for the first one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then the second one, two women dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah.
looks kind of like they're doing
Yeah.
some type of Kamehameha wave of some sort, like as they like kind of charge up something. They're about to blast it at each other. I don't know.
Yeah. It also looks like the second one looks like two angels with trumpets.
Oh, yeah.
Into the sky. Yeah.
First one reminds me of that bad Ice King guy from that claymation Christmas movie. With his evil crown, put one foot in front of the other.
That SI is heavy.
Man.
Joyce.
How about everyone else?
I see two little bean people sitting in front of a fire, and then it's like shadows on the wall. And the other two look like bunnies playing little trumpets.
I didn't see this at first, just an idea as I continue to look at it. First one could also be a crown of some sort.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the Game of Thrones throne.
Oh, yeah. I can see
yeah.
the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
For sure. How about you, Paul?
Yeah, I can totally see the Iron Throne. It also reminds me of Wilson from Castaway. Like Tom Hanks's like bloody palm print.
Yeah,
like right on the volleyball. Boom.
Yeah.
And I totally get like people either dancing or playing the trumpets together.
Oh, it looks like a couple ribeyes to me. I'm gonna have to eat again.
How about you, Aisha?
I see the first one kind of looks like the Emperor from Mulan. Now that I guess Jamila said that earlier, so I'm thinking about it, but I was seeing like a little ancient dude. And then the second one looks like the guards from Wizard of Oz dancing.
That's so cool. Thank you everyone for reacting to the Inkblots. And now is the analysis portion. So maybe if you guys want, we can relate it back to typology, or we could relate it back to your childhood issues. What do you think your takeaways are of looking at Inkblots together? Some of the observations I got from this panel and what I took away was that the NE users, the extroverted intuition users, they'll go off, like they'll see something, but especially like with Paul as an INFP, his NE and his SI is right next to each other, sandwiched. So he'll come up with a very specific reference from a very specific show, and he'll like make a very creative example with it. And so does Spacey. And so you'll see that with the NE and SI sandwich in the middle, they'll come up with like these super specific references, and it'll give you really big imagery, like a really vivid imagery, and very precise, particular imagery. And with Aisha, as the ENFP with NE Dom, she very excitedly will like jump in first and go like, hey, it's this. And then like, it's very interesting. I feel like invigorated after, her comments on, relating it to things. And like, I noticed very adorable with blurting out how it looks like genitalia, because it really does. So you'll hear the honest commentary from the ENFP just saying it as it is. And also with Oriana, like I noticed that like for her, she's able to see how things kind of like there's an aesthetic feel to the interesting connection she would make, because I feel like I don't know, like you'll notice that ENFPs have different interests by the way that they look at Inkblots. So like you'll know Aisha really loves her dog Tater because she saw Tater in one of the Inkblots. You know that Oriana has like, I don't know, she's very fluent in like how things can look in relation to beauty because she's very beautiful. So like, yeah, so ENFPs see different things depending on their walk of life. And so Jet as the ESTP, as the SE Dom. I felt like he was judging if they looked cool or not from the beginning. So it's like, oh, this Inkblot looked cool. No, it didn't look cool. And that's like, this one looked like a demon. That's cool. No, this one it lacks entertainment or like adrenaline rush. And I'm like, no. And so like, yeah, he was judging them by the excitement that they would give him. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And so Denzel and Jamila. I noticed that with Jamila, when she would look at the Inkblots, like she would actually she engages a lot with her NI, with her SE. So she'll SE notice like a cute animal or something, a very good connection from a show, like a very accurate SE connection for a show, but then she'll relate it back to like an NI insight. So like in the middle of the conversation, she was like, so everyone pause. I just want to know if, you know, if you NE users, you're trying to add on more things, like see what other ideas you can see, or what other possibilities you can see them in this ink block after the initial one. And so Jamila was like imagining the inside of people's minds. As like we were all looking at the ink blocks, she was imagining the inner thought life of people and then asking us. So that was really cool. So you can see the NI and the SE like mashed together, because like she'll look, but she'll also introspect, and you'll hear that in her dialogue. And with Denzel, like he offers like really good deep insight into like the Inkblots, and like he related it back to a psychoanalysis, so Raymond Reddington. So he was like, wow, you know, it reminds me of this so I noticed with NI higher up, what people like with that do, and I do too, is that like we'll store things that mean something to us, but we won't bring it back until it relates back to a main NI insight. So when I feel like Denzel, when he looked at Raymond Reddington looking at Inkblots, like he stored something that he took away from that, and he's like, yeah, Inkblots and sexual organs, like it means something. So the NI is like, it means something. There's something you can take away. And so it took looking at the Inkblots to trigger that NI thing that's always been dormant, that he wanted to make that grand connection with. And so I related a lot to Denzel when he made that connection with Raymond Reddington, because he was storing that in order to bring it out when it's relevant to the SE. So that was really cool. And yeah, so thank you so much. Any other takeaways you guys got from this?
I thought that was interesting. Yeah, especially looking at like how everyone else was seeing things. Like you said about Aisha, I really just like how honest you were, like about what you were seeing, like just right away, and then like the jokes with all of that. And I did also notice like between Paul and Spacey, like how specific everything was. I was like, wow, like, and like the first time that it happened, then I was like, well, you know, maybe like I don't want to typify this, like maybe this everybody does that, but then it just kept on happening. I was like, wow, that's really like MESI, like that's so interesting, like you're thinking of this very specific thing, and then you're building based off of that. But yeah, this was interesting, and I thought it was fun too, because I've always wanted to like, I guess like do Inkblots. Like I could have always done it on my own, but it was just something I thought like, oh, it'd be interesting. And so this was an interesting opportunity, like see it and just throw the first thing that comes to mind before I give myself the opportunity to think about what it looks like. And it was interesting to see like, okay, this is like what that is versus that last one or two, or the one that Aisha said looked like her dog. I was like, yeah, I see it, and I'm staring at it, and I literally don't see anything. And so I'm not going to force anything. And I wonder if that's how I also kind of like view like if I just don't really like see anything there, then kind of like what Jamila was saying about, are you trying to look for more there? Like, I think that's kind of like how I can be. It's not that like, oh, if I don't see something right away, then I won't. But it's like, yeah, like if I'm like looking at it and I just don't see any potential there, period, then it's like, why would I waste my time to force something that's not there? I guess that's where my SE comes in. Like, hey, don't overthink this. So, yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm how that relates to how I project onto reality.
Yeah, I relate to you, Denzel. Like how I view Inkblots is how I view life too. It's like if there's no meaning there, I won't assign meaning there. So I have to. The meaning truly has to be there for me too. Or like I'm not going to hunt for meaning. Basically, I'm going to let meaning reveal itself to me if it exists there.
Yeah. That's exactly it. You're going to allow the meaning to emerge itself, and if you had to force the meaning to emerge, then that's probably not what it might mean, at least for us. Whereas like maybe for the NE users, in my opinion, I think that for them that works really well. Like that's how you come up with a lot of like creative things. Like I always think of Walt Disney and how he was able to create such a world of imagination. And it's like, whoa, this is because he probably like continued to just push and push to have all of these different things and creative ideas that come up. Whereas like, I guess I'm thinking like for NI users, especially if NI is like lower in the stack, like with Jet, it's like, look, if I don't see nothing, I don't see nothing. Like if it doesn't look cool, then it doesn't look cool. Then Jamila has it tertiary and she's like, oh, I see it now that you're pointing this out. And sometimes I don't even see what you're pointing out. But I'm not about to look harder for this if it's not there. And then for me, it's an auxiliary. It's like, okay, this is what I see immediately. Now I'm going to dive into that and I'm going to like see what that means. Oh, I'm not, or if I don't see anything there like right away, I'm going to continue to look just to make sure. So I might look at it longer than Jet and Jamila might. But then if I really am not seeing anything, then it's like, all right, well then let me leave it alone. I'm not going to try to project anything onto it.
I saw a post recently on, it was like from Tumblr, I saw it on Facebook, but I liked it because it reminded me of my NE and ties into what you guys are talking about. It was like, people will tell you that it's not that deep, but it's not whether or not it's deep. And the person described themselves as a pro, like scavenging through the canyons looking for something shiny. It's not whether or not the canyon has something, it's just the fact that they get to go look for it.
Yeah.
Something that's fun. And if they don't, oh well, they had fun along the way.
I really like that. That's
yeah,
really cool.
and so like that's how I would feel. It's like it doesn't really matter if there's nothing there immediately for me, because give me 5 seconds, I'll find something else. Like I'll add a story to it. I'll make it its own little world, because why not? Like it's there and I can do whatever I want in my head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I think relating that to real life, like to like its insights and everything, that NE and I think there was like a conversation on Twitter like a few weeks ago actually, sorry, sense of time. But where they were talking about how like NE sees the real patterns in real life, whereas NI kind of like makes it up in their head. But like I actually think that it could be a little bit like the reverse, or actually I wouldn't even say that. I would just say like it's probably like not that black and white as whatever the author was trying to say, because just like what Ira was just saying, like an NE user, like a lot of times they might not even really be looking for like what is actually like this. It's just, hey, I want to use this opportunity to create something creative, and there's nothing at all wrong with that, as long as, of course, like once again, like when there is a time like present, maybe like we just make the clarification, like just so y'all know, like this is my creative work. I'm not saying this is empirically what this is. Whereas I think that the NI user at times, not all the time, but at times is kind of like looking for what is this empirically meaning. And if I can't find like an empirical meaning, I don't want to taint that by trying to create one, because then it won't really seem like truth. Whereas NE might be like, well, I'm not really like looking for other functions in the NE users thing could be looking for the truth, but NE as a function like just in itself might not really be looking for the truth. It's just trying to play around with the concept of the idea.
Yeah, Denzel, that's a really succinct way to put the NI-SE axis, empirical meaning. So empirical as the SE and the meaning as the NI. So that's a good way to sum up the axis. And the best way I've seen like NI put in a way to visualize is like, the one is like the elephant and the 5 blind men. So it's like everyone knows about that. But the second one is so basically there's a glass window and you're seeing it defrost. So the NI user is like wanting the glass window to defrost so you can see the empirical reality as truthfully and as meaningfully as you can. But NE is meaning too, not to hit on not to hit on any users, but I mean not to shame you guys or not to make it like that, or like I don't know how you guys process it, but like
are you hitting on me?
Happy interior be like.
So yeah, how about you, you NE users? How do you guys experience NE when you look at Inkblots or when you look at life?
Did you agree or disagree with anything that I may have said? I know, like, I just said something.
Yeah, I had a few thoughts. You were kind of talking about how NE users are like pushing for things, and I guess from my perspective, it's really more of a compulsive thing. It doesn't take any, any like force to like make it happen. It just happens. You can't stop it. So I guess that's what I would say about that. I was thinking about like a hologram, how if you look at it from one angle, right, all you see is a 2D image. And you may, for example, say it's like the back of somebody and you can't really see anything significant. So you're like, yeah, whatever. And you move on to the next image. But an NE user just immediately starts walking circles around it. Right? And then you see it turns into a composite 3D image. So now you have all the angles.
I can agree.
Why does the NE user walk around it? I feel like I'm just...
Because it's exciting. We might find something.
It's curiosity.
Yeah, it's curiosity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's a game. No, I don't want my hands.
Yeah.
I mean, we run circles in our heads. The SE users, I imagine, run circles in real life, but
Jet and I always say that, like, where he is very like physically active and being like SE Don, like he wants something done, he's gonna get up and he's gonna go do it. Versus me, I want something done, so I think about all the ways that I could get it done and which would be the best way to get it done. And he's like, you're doing all this work in your head while I do all the work with my body. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm good for. We're good at brainstorming. Not any actual work though.
Yeah, and I is good at like letting the pawn settle. So it's like I'm gonna wait until this pawn settles so I can get the image of the pawn most clearly as I can, or like, yeah. So
well, that would take patience, though.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely envy people proficient with NI for that very reason. Just being able to achieve that kind of clarity and depth at the same time. Whereas, like, I'll find myself, I oftentimes, like, I wouldn't speak up because the things I was seeing, I was bored with them. It's like, oh, that doesn't really interest me,
Yeah.
Although, yeah, I usually get interested by like really morbid or dark things. So, yeah, then I'm happy to bring them up, which of course creates the image of me as being a really morbid or dark guy. But at the same time, it's
I got
to go in that detail.
Why not pursue that? Because why not? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong with, exploring darkness or anything, but, sometimes it can come across the wrong way. Of course, Batman's a dark guy by design, so.
To the right person.
It all comes together. But I like that. Thank you.
Batman merely adopted the darkness.
I had another insight too. So I from speaking to other NE users and NI users, one thing that I've noticed is that NISE, at least for me especially too, what I've noticed that we look for timing on things. So we try to like look for like the moment to jump in, like, okay, this is the prime time, this is the moment. So our patience is like, all right, we have to wait because this window of opportunity, we have to take seize of it. Whereas with NE users, what I've noticed is that they don't really care about that because they're like, there's so many different portals and windows of opportunity everywhere. And so why do I have to like be patient and wait for timing and stuff like that? Because anytime that I want, I can jump into one. So I think that relating this back to the Inkblot things, like I said, because I knew the rule for this is that you have to say like the first thing that comes to mind. then I didn't want to psych myself out of the experiment. And so whenever I saw it, then immediately I just I tried to blank my mind so that whatever just popped out at the page, oh, Pikachu, oh, whatever, I just blurted out. That way, whatever anybody else was going to say wouldn't influence what I saw and then kind of taint the experiment for myself in a way. So I saw that as okay, timing, moment of opportunity, jump to it. Whereas I saw other people, after I'd say mine, then I just kind of relax, okay, well, the experiment is done. I already know what I saw. But now I'm just gonna sit back and listen to what everybody else is seeing. And they seem more oh, there's so many portals. I don't have to say the first thing that I saw because I see so many things at once. But we're mainly the end users, and so yeah.
You know,
more add on that, but yeah.
No, you're totally right about something. Because I've always thought that people often talk about how NI is good at predicting the future or something like that. But honestly, I think SE/NI in general is just way more in tune with time in general. And maybe the NE and SI is really more just outside of time, or maybe I often feel like I can make time, or it's elastic or something, and I can stretch it out. It's it doesn't seem to matter to me.
Yeah.
But you guys, it's not just paying attention to it, but knowing when the moment is right and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Personality Hacker actually has a podcast on that, the functions in relationship to time, and NESI was one of the things that they said exactly something similar like that. But yeah, I totally agree. I'm always tapped into that timing of things and just jumping in on that. Even though sometimes I lose track of time, as in oh, was that this morning or was that 2 days ago?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the reason why NI/SE is in tune with time is because it's in tune with reality. And so it's the first thing it uses to make meaning is the empirical reality. So it has to use that to come up with meaning. So yeah, whereas for extroverted intuition, I've had friends call it parallel universe too. So it's it's okay to not base this off of just empirical reality, that so they can go beyond that, Yeah.
So. But then the SI grounds them, because then someone might watch this and be oh, so are they saying that NE users can never be realistic? And what I've seen is that SI is where that realisticness comes from, because it's okay, what has been consistent and verifiable throughout this whole timeline? Okay, this is what's been consistent. No matter what the metaverse might be, it seems like Barry Allen's mother is always still going to be dead. So therefore, I think Barry Allen's mother is
nice.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah. Well, we have solid lines connecting things that are real, and then we start drawing dotted lines to things that may or may not be real. It's
Cool. That's cool.
For NI, what it has is so its solid lines are the SE, and then the dotted lines are trying to understand the SE more. So it's all dotted lines leading back to the SE. So it all has to relate back to that, if that makes sense. Yeah. So dotted lines is inferences, where I see intuitive functions make a lot of inferences, but NI and NE have different ways of making inferences. Yeah. And so Aisha, anything you want to say?
You were saying about how it's an impulsion, the NE, how it just goes, how it would just walk around that person. I agree with that. Yeah. And it's almost like a religion that you have to commit to. It's how I live my life. I wouldn't come to the things that you said about me being a lovely person. Well, I wouldn't have those experiences if I didn't commit to NE. I'm oh, this is a shiny thing. I'm following this because it's my heart says to, or whatever. It just happened.
It's the cult of possibilities.
Yeah. So caught up.
Love that.
Nice.
And so my next topic is more of a joke question, but it's what do you feel these inkblots have revealed to you about your childhood trauma or your psychological state?
Well, you know what? That's interesting that you say that, though, because Paul was saying he didn't want to say about the bad thing. I every time was conscious of like, great, I said another sex thing. Now I'm probably like, there's someone in the comments like, this lady was like, yeah, I was super conscious of it. After I said it, though.
That's right.
Yeah.
After you said it. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, well, it is, though.
Yeah.
But if you don't see a titty, then no.
Watch it,
Yeah.
Aisha. Ford's gonna knock at your door telling you have something about your dad or your mom.
You're right. Fine.
All right. Spacey, what did this tell you about your own psych?
I mean, one of them, made me feel like really weird because my uncle touched me one time. I don't know what you're looking for. Like, honestly, I don't have any like childhood trauma that I can relate this back to.
I feel like that was kind of TI too, because TI users are known for saying something completely, possibly offensive to someone without care, without blinking an eye. And wow, you flawlessly did that, Spacey. But
does that actually like make anybody else feel like in their body they're like, do you know what I mean? Like, no offense, I'm just asking strictly for like function wise.
Yes.
I just want to know what that is. Okay.
That makes jokes like that. I'm like, oh, that might make people feel really sad.
It's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? To be fair, there should have been a trigger warning.
No.
Yes. At least I know I can laugh at it after, but like
PC culture, come on.
Oh, I don't want to go.
Oh my. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Oh no, we're not having this discussion right now. FI cool and FI polar.
Fortunately, I'm only at 2%, so.
So I
Happy Halloween.
I think Joyce already said my piece about like what I realized about my psyche, how I don't project onto the world unless it's all of that. So yeah, I don't know if Jamila has something to say.
I feel like I didn't realize anything about childhood trauma because I don't feel like any of that ties to what I saw because I saw way too many cute animals and like I don't feel like that's a bad thing.
You got traumatized by cute animals, bro. That's what that means.
I grew up.
Oh God.
What
happened with an animal when you were young?
You have Stockholm syndrome? Is that why you're still with animals to this day? And you just kind of like push down?
Dominate my life. They control when I wake up and what I do and how much money I spend. They control it all. That's why I've been traumatized by
I was watching her pet that dog and I was getting weird vibes about it,
Oh my gosh, wait a minute.
I thought it was like when Joyce told us that we were doing this, I was like, if I were in a bad mood, I wouldn't want to play this. Like, I wouldn't want to do this. I would not want to do this. Because I'd be like, that's a fucking people killing other people. I don't know.
Wait.
Or like, I'd be
the
saying
bad
the stuff that
What's
makes
bad
people
about
uncomfortable. I
What's
don't
bad
know. Look, I'm like, now I have to go.
2%.
I made her leave.
No.
I think
Aisha.
Aisha was on something though. I'm just throwing this at the wall. She said if she was in a bad mood, FI, I'm assuming, then her NE would see something different. So I'm wondering if that could mean, no offense to ENFPs and INFPs, but depending on their mood, that's what they might project onto the world as well. Like, so you can put them in one situation, like if there's a multiverse, you can put them in one situation and, oh, I'm in a good mood. So they see this, they witness this thing happen, and they interpret it in a way that matches their mood. Versus in a different multiverse, that same thing happens, but because they were in a bad mood, then it's like, well, now this. And maybe even sometimes if they go revise the memory, then, well, back then, like yesterday, I felt fine when it happened, but now that I post-process and I'm in a bad mood, I actually think that that was offensive, or I didn't like how this happened, or so. But again, that's just me like thinking. Like, I wonder if that could be something.
I mean, I've seen that happen for sure.
Same here, but
That happened to me today from an NFP. Yeah, it's like I could have done the same thing that same day, another day when they were feeling good, but they wouldn't react the same way that they did. So like their mood impacts how they interpret something. Yeah.
Okay. That's happened to me several times too, but I just
Also,
I just happen to notice that wow, it's mostly the NFPs that this seems to happen with.
However, in an effort to be educational here, I kind of want to say that, but by developing my FI, like it's basically all part of realizing that these emotional colorations are happening with people all the fucking time, and you have to adapt to that, and you have to play into it. And additionally, like whenever I say something at just the right time to make the right impact, that's probably demonstrative NI. That's how you do it. And so all those things have to be taken into consideration in order for me to actually do the TIFE thing where I say something to somebody in just the right way and at just the right time to make just the right impact.
Yeah. Coincidentally, from Avatar: The Last Airbender, the character's name was Jet. And I believe that he was an ESTP. And one moment from the show was funny to me. Like, I think he said something like Sokka was like in some type of bad mood or something. Or like Sokka said something disrespectful, and then Katara apologized to Jet, like, I'm so sorry about my brother. And instead of taking it personally or whatever, then Jet was like, oh no, it's all right. He must have just had a bad day. Like, pretty much he just kind of like went off like, oh, he's having his mood over there. I'm not about to let that bother me. And I think that's like, I don't know. I just, that really like stood out to me, like the way like, wow, he just brushed that off. Like,
no, that's the way that I am.
Yeah, and I think that's like, like holding space for, okay, you know what? And it's not to like, you might, and it's probably even best also to not go and point out to the person that you're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
You need to like know, but like, just kind of like think that to yourself, oh, their mood is influencing how they're viewing reality right now. Maybe right now I should not present reality to them because then they might also warp that. So I'll just keep that in mind for myself and I won't let it bother me. I'll stay detached. This is not a true representation of who this person is in that moment. And I'll just try to like, I don't want to say be the bigger person, but just hold space for that person.
Yeah, the FE is like, I'm going to strategically, tactfully handle this interpersonal dynamic by knowing when I should present this and when it would cause emotional distress with people.
Right.
And it's like, so I noticed with FE, it kind of has this like, some like strategy with how it's going to go about interpersonal dynamics. And so if it sees like,
it definitely does.
yeah. And so it's seeing like a long-term gain. If a long-term like view of relationships, and it's going like, at this moment, if I present this, will it cause this person to be sad and upset? So I won't present that, and I'll present it at another time. And so FE plays this like game, like strategy with how to deal with its relationships to make sure it goes well.
Yeah.
Like, like TE wants tasks to go smoothly, but FE wants relationships to go smoothly. And so it'll figure out a way to do that. And so, yeah, thank you everyone for coming out. I loved seeing your faces today. It's a room with some of my favorite people. Y'all interpret Inkblots in a way that was so entertaining to me and, made my Halloween or pre-Halloween something special. Some of your interpretations were super spooky and morbid, Paul. And so, thank you, Paul, for just the imagination you bring to how you interpret Inkblots. Like, I'd always have to call on you and go like, hey, Paul, talk. But when you talk, I'd be like, wow, you saw that. That was really interesting. And so you bring like a new spin to the things you see. And sometimes it takes a darker spin, but sometimes we need a little bit of that in our life to make it interesting. Paul? So thank you for your wild imagination. It's quite the gift. And Spacey, thank you for the interesting rundowns you would give of, your view of the functions. It's very educational, and it's also interesting because you were able to put like, oh, NE is a compulsion. So you spark your TI is like baking how to put it in the most like accurate way. And when you said it was compulsion, it resonated with all the NE users. So you hit the nail on the head. So yeah, like thank you for your fun interpretations of the Inkblots. It made me think, like, when we were going through the Inkblots, I'm like, how much of this is NE and how much of this is another influence possibly? But I was entertained nonetheless.
I just want to say, Paul is the hero we need but don't deserve.
Nobody deserves this.
Yeah, your costume is on point. You made Halloween for us. Like, you put my Pokemon trainer costume to shame.
Oh, it's beautiful. No, yeah, I totally didn't pull this thing off half-assed in the bathroom. I know what you're talking about.
Revealing your top trade secrets to us, already. Yeah. And so yeah, Denzel and Jamila. Thank you, Denzel, for your wise, insightful comments onto the NI SE axis. You put it in such a good way, like empirical meaning. That was the best way I've ever heard the axis being put. And it's true, like you're so patient and you're so focused with your insight that when you relay it hits home. It is like when you're seeing it, you're seeing reality clearly and concisely, and with insight and wisdom and depth and clarity that we all know and love in ENFJs. If you were a cult leader, which you could very well be because you're a very charismatic and very able to influence people with your words, you would be one that would be able to lead people down a good spiritual direction. With your insights, they're plentiful, and with your cult following, it's possible. With great power comes great responsibility. So you have the power. Just you don't have to make it, but it's good to know that you could. Yeah. You're my favorite potential cult leader. And so Jamila, yeah, you're able to, when you're observing something, you'll see something in reality, and then you'll point it back to an NI insight. So I noticed that you'll look at something, but after a while you'll make meaning with it, and then I'll go Jamila's really deep. You'll say something because you notice it with your eyes. Sometimes I forget, as us intuitives forget to notice things with our eyes. But you notice things with your eyes, and then you shine insight onto them. So and your singing is out of this world. Your vocal box is a gift from God and a gift for everyone to listen to. You raise the caliber of what singing could be. When you sing, it instantly puts me in a good mood. Your singing lifts moods and lifts spirits and lifts the world. And so continue with that, ma'am. You. Yeah, I'm just so enamored by and moved by the quality of your singing, because it has real emotion under it and real heart. Yeah. So thank you for that, you Mensahs. and Oriana and Jet. Okay, so Oriana, you have this bubbliness to you that makes you super charismatic, and you also have this I don't know how to put it. I'm trying to put your essence into a concise sentence. But you're closer, a close up.
Like paparazzi over here, my goodness.
It is like the paparazzi. And so Oriana, you are an ENFP who is able to make these possibilities, but make them into very cute connections. You'll talk about animals, and you'll see animals and things, and which is a very innocent way to see the Inkblots. So I feel it shows the innocence of you. So it shows how you have a mind that sees things in a very youthful way that the world needs more of. So you're able to see things in a new light that is very cute. And you teach Jet FI. So, you know, when Jet forgets about FI, you're there to remind him, hey, Jet, you have to care about emotions because people exist.
Emotions are man, not even once.
Yeah. So you keep track of people's morality, which is good. And Jet, oh, by the way, Oriana, like, you're gorgeous. Like, you're one of the prettiest people I know of. Aesthetically, like, you look like a queen, a princess.
Yeah, you look like a fairy princess.
I'm so red right now. I'm laughing so hard.
Your long hair, like I just feel like you need fairy wings, and then your ears need to be a little bit pointy.
A little pointy. Oh, I would love that.
And then a little crown, like a little leaf crown and everything. We can hook you up for Halloween real quick. Don't worry.
Oh my god. I think I might be Princess Peach for Halloween.
Okay.
So it's well recognized. So
okay,
good.
Yeah, that's like something like I think anyone notices off the bat when they meet you, Oriana, that like you're drop dead gorgeous. And so yeah, Jet, thank you for being the ESTP who brings deep conversation into the conversation. Like someone will say something and then you'll challenge it, like the type 8 that you are. Like what just happened, you know, Spacey said something and then you're like, well, why don't you fully go into that, Spacey? Like, I don't know, like, so you challenge people to continue down a rabbit hole of their choice. Because like you think that there's depth to be had there. And I noticed that about you. Like you get kind of annoyed at superficial things. And so it's interesting as an ESTP that you have that side of you. Like you show like a new side, that like a new spectrum of ESTPs in that way. And I'm not sure, like I always wonder if it's like Oriana that taught you this depth that you had, or if it's just something you naturally have. But it's really cool. And I like how you're able to be chill. Like you're a chill pill guy. The way you lean back in your chair is chill, you know, and the way that you vape is chill.
Disclaimer, I'm a very big asshole, so your viewers may not enjoy my energy, but yeah,
Jed's
bro.
a really, really big softie and likes to pretend like he's tough, like all ESTPs. All ESTPs swear up and down that they're big, tough, macho men.
This is
but
true,
they
though.
are soft.
I totally got that vibe, but because I know it's the ESTP's secret, I wasn't gonna rat my brothers out, you know.
I will rat them out.
He knows.
they're inside. They're really ENFJs.
No, there's no hiding here. This is FI world. We just live out everything. Like no hiding.
Everyone here is cool. My book. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you, Joyce.
Yeah, thank you. This has
Yeah, I
been
had a
brilliant.
lot of fun.
Yay.
Well, yeah, you guys were a lot of fun to hang out with. Type Talks is my excuse to bring on the people who I consider my friends and like awesome people to hang out with me. Thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you viewers for watching this. You rock, have a beautiful Halloween, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye everyone. Bye.
Bye.